Yes, welcome back to Football Heritage TV. It is the collective, and we're here to talk about all things, all football. And it's been a very interesting weekend. Chelsea have lost to Arsenal. We'll be asking Charlie all about his Chelsea and their top four hopes. Nottingham Forest keep proving me wrong, and they keep winning. And me thinking they're not going to get top seven is getting further and further away. Romz, look at him. He's not happy. The quadruple has turned into the single, the one. Mike's, he's happy. They've got a point at Everton against their old manager. And me, I've been in the mud all season. I'm staying in that mud. I'm just going to live there now. Guys, everyone well? Everyone good? Anyone want to confess anything? We all good?
I'm not as happy as you think.
I've had better Mondays.
Mate,
I wonder how Romz is feeling, man. I can't wait.
I paid 30 quid for an hour and a half nap in North London yesterday, so I don't know if anyone can top that.
Man, Charlie, I actually fell asleep in that game. Like, I was sitting there watching it, and next thing I knew, I was asleep. Wow.
Charlie, if it makes you feel better, I paid a couple hundred for my team to not turn up in the final. Like,
Mate, I probably wasted more money than that on my team not turning up this season. But yeah, I hear you. It's bad, isn't it? It's bad.
If it helps, I'm a West Ham fan, so I don't think you get worse than that.
and I'm a Forest fan, so we're okay.
And Savva's a Spurs fan, so we can all
Okay.
Wait, so me and Ant the only ones who feel we get value for money this year.
Value for money. Yeah. I support Tottenham. We have one of the highest ticket prices in world football.
Yeah, you're the most profitable.
You'd have to win the European Cup every year to get value for money at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Do you know what we should have done? The outside of the Spurs stadium should have been in the style of an Excel spreadsheet. Just loads of different columns with like plus signs and divides, and should have just been that. That's all we care about.
You're the most followed club on TikTok as well. So
are you saying, Savva, you should have been sponsored by Ed Sheeran? Have you seen Ipswich's logo?
Yeah.
Our last home game was against Manchester City, and my ticket was £39.
39. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, but Ant gets OAP rates.
Piss off. No, I don't.
Actually, he does. They've moved that bracket up.
Guys, sorry, I was just posting this out. I should have done this earlier. Look, we've had a League Cup final this weekend. I'm guessing we've got to start there, haven't we? It's the biggest game in the English calendar this weekend. Romz, your boys, is it fair to say, as much as I'd like to really dig you out, you guys just didn't turn up. It just felt like it was, I don't know, it felt like you were going through the motions and Newcastle really wanted it more than you. Is it that clear cut, or is there more at play here? What happened?
For me, it's that clear cut. I think complacency kicked in. We just started this final that, yeah, we're going to turn up, we're going to rock up and win it. And I think they wanted it more. It wasn't even just on the pitch, right? We call Wembley Anfield South, which it normally does turn into Anfield South. That was St. James South yesterday. We didn't turn up at all, even off the pitch. You had people fighting in level 5 and whatnot. It was just an atrocity on our standpoint yesterday. But credit to them. From the off, they'll first, not even from the off till about the 90th minute. They wanted it more than us. They'll first to every ball. We were poor. And you've got a lot of our fan base making excuses saying we were tired, etc. I even think if we had knocked out PSG, Newcastle still would have won that final. They just wanted it more. It meant more to them, no pun intended. And they're better than us in every department. Their midfield looked like, you wouldn't think we're about to win the league if you just watched that game. Their midfield looked light years ahead of us. I know a lot of people like Bruno G, but for me, Tonali's the best in that midfield. Everything ran through him. And I think that midfield three is probably the best in the league. The way they complement each other. Yeah. I think you have Joe Linton, which is the shit house. He's very combative. You've got Bruno that kind of conducts play, and you've got Tonali that can conduct play and speed things up. And I think Dan Burn getting a goal, it was just fitting. After that went in, I said to my mate next to me, I don't think this is our day. A Geordie getting the opening goal at Wembley, their first final in God knows how long. It was one of them days.
Sorry, quickly. Why was McAllister marking Dan Burn at corners?
And you know what, Charlie? Yeah, this is where Slot has to be criticised, because I've never been a fan of zonal marking. Because with zonal marking, if you don't mark that zone, it can be two people blaming each other. Where man to man, you know who's your man. Old fashioned, they can't really peel off from you. But I even think a lot of people have qualms with the starting 11. You can't really be reactionary, because Kelleher, Charlie, you would know this, not to dig you up.
Mate,
Kelleher's been amazing in finals for us. Normally he plays in the finals, so I'm not now going to say Allison should have started. Kelleher had a bad game, as a lot of our players did, but I think the lineup was all right. For me, I just think maybe he should have rotated in previous weeks, because we like to laud him up for, oh my God, he's a tactical genius, and he has been this season. But he's similar to Conte, like Charlie and Sav, you will understand where Conte will only really use an 11 and maybe a few fringe plays, but he would normally focus on an 11 and he won't really rotate as much. Slot's kind of brought in that concept where I'm only going to trust really an 11 or 12 and not really trust anyone else. And I feel like now the fatigue's starting to kick in, but that's no excuse for this final. Newcastle were just better than us, and I think this is where your big players need to step up. I think Van Dijk didn't have a good game. Mohamed Salah, my fan base hate me for this, but I said great goal scorer. But if you do take away the GA, he has performances like this all the time. But because we're winning, no one really wants to speak about it. But I've said this for years. I've said it when he walked in the door. He'll win us games. In the league, he's it's dead. Big up LB. In the league, he's phenomenal. But in finals, my fan base had to argue with me. But the proof's in the pudding. If you look at our actual finals, he doesn't really turn up in them. And the irony is, the one final we turned up in, we lost against Madrid 1-0. He actually played well without scoring or assisting. But I looked at Van Dijk, didn't have the greatest game. I think his box defending was good, but that's normally always good. Salah didn't. Our midfield all three of them for me were poor. Jota, he's my guy, but he's been pissed for all season.
Can I ask Romz then? Isn't this the first red flag that we've seen from Slot then?
Slot, yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. Second, if we're going to talk about probably Plymouth, right? If that might have been what you were.
PSG.
No, PSG was.
Yeah, but
that was
sure. PSG are a bloody good football team, right? So, like, my point is, you're in a final, and none of your players looked up for it. Now, is that a one-off? Is this a bad thing about Slot? Is this going to be a continuation? Do you see what I mean, Romz?
And I know what you mean. I think it's a one-off, because now you're getting some idiots in our fan base that are now saying we're going to bottle the league. We're not. The league's done. The league is done. But what will now happen is, let's say we lose a few games, panic will start to kick in. It started to kick in already with 8 games left in the season. So I understand that going into games, our morale's a bit low. But I do honestly think it's a one-off. I think we come back after the international break. We've got Everton at Anfield, and I do think we start winning games again. But it is concerned that you couldn't get up for probably one of our biggest games of the season. His first cup final, it could have been his first trophy that he got on the board. But I do think our fan base are being a bit reactionary. That they're starting to think this is doom and gloom.
But your fan base is always reactionary, bro.
Yeah, it is. And Sav, if you said to me, Wolfie, if you said to me start of the season, you're only going to win the Premier League, I didn't even think we'd win the Premier League. I thought we were going to finish third. I would have bit your hand off for that. But I feel like in a season, expectations change. And we bring it on ourselves. Sav, I know you had to introduce the show and say it went from quad or whatnot. And that was the general consensus from a lot of my fans. But I never use that word because it's unrealistic. There's a reason why it's never been done. But
you thought it, Romz. You thought it.
No, I never. No.
Bro, if we're looking at December time where things are ticking along nicely, I know you haven't said it live on there, but that thought is in your mind.
Wolfie, what I did say, and you know I've said this, I said a treble. I never said a triple. I said one less.
That makes it better.
Cod word.
Yeah.
That makes it better.
I said 3, but I didn't say 4. So it is a bit disheartening. The next 2 weeks will be sour. I am disappointed, of course, because I feel like this team can achieve more. But the fact we haven't, or did they say shoot for the stars and land on the moon? We shot for all the trophies, but still landing on the Premier League. So it's not that doom and gloom. However, it was disappointing yesterday. disappointing.
Well, let me.
Is it fair to say, like, sorry, is it fair to say that because you like sleepwalk through yourself to win the league, that you've taken that mentality into the Champions League and the Carabao Cup because you think everything's going to come to you? Now, the way you performed in the Premier League, there's no pressure on you. There's no there's no competition there for the Prem. So you're taking that into PSG and you're taking that into Newcastle, thinking you're going to get over the line just like how you did in the league. Is that fair to say?
PSG, I disagree. I think PSG were just better than us over the 2 legs, over the 120 minutes. We say Newcastle, if we're being honest, if we were to play them 10 times, we'd probably win 6 or 7 out of them. I think we had a better team.
Nah.
We just didn't turn up yesterday, and that's not taking any credit from them. They turned up. They wanted it more. They beat us. They battered us pillar to post. But I think PSG was more, a team was just better than us. Newcastle was complacency. You saw from the off, we didn't even look like we wanted to run. Like they were all over us from start to finish, and they're better in every department.
See, I think some questions. Sorry, go on, sir.
No, so I was just going to quickly say thank you very much to Dan Potts, who's just sent over loads of people to rate. What I would say is there's 446 people in the chat, only 45 likes. Guys, these ratios are like Richarlison ratios. Right? This is like 1 in, I don't even know, what's that, 1 in 10? That literally is 1 in 10. Can we get that to 200 ASAP, please? And please do subscribe if you haven't. And subscribe to all of these wonderful looking gentlemen. Please subscribe to Blue Brother, subscribe to and Wolfie, subscribe to Romz, subscribe to Mike's, and subscribe to this channel. I'm just over 100 away from 17K. And this feels like the longest 1,000 of my YouTube career. I'm not going to lie to you. I flew past 15 and thought, this is easy. Nope. Can we just put a little bit on Newcastle? For as much as Liverpool were the favourites probably and didn't play, how bloody good is Eddie Howe at setting up his team in these sort of games? He's a top manager, guys, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's learned from his mistakes from 2 years ago. He even changed the hotel they were staying at, you know, and even when it came to their match against you in the league, I feel he set up differently yesterday to how he did when, what was it, Romz? It was 2-0, wasn't it, a couple of weeks ago too? Against them.
But they were missing big players. Isaac didn't play that game as well, and he probably scored.
I wonder if he just kept him behind, you know what I'm saying, so that you wouldn't be able to suss the tactics.
I said Newcastle's form into that final will be poor. They'll be focused on that final. Then afterwards, now they'll get top 5. I think that trajectory they're going to go on and that confidence it gives them, I can see them getting top 5 now.
I think they need credit. I think I've said all season they have the best midfield in the league. I got laughed at early on in the season. Now a lot of people are now agreeing with me.
They had 3 of their best players missing as well, didn't they? They had no Anthony Gordon yesterday. Who else? Like Lewis Hall at left back, Botman as well, and Sven Botman at the back. So they played better. And as Rom said, at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to hold your hands up. They were a better team. They turned up. They wanted it more. And of course, you know, whether people want to admit it or not, that means more to Newcastle than it will ever mean to Liverpool. Like, you know, how long they've waited for a trophy and things like that. So, you know, you never want to say that your team wasn't up for it or your team lacked the desire in a final, but you can understand why perhaps the Liverpool players might be thinking about other things maybe. But Newcastle are outstanding, you know. Like, everyone knows how Eddie Howe was going to set up in that game. Everyone knew what the 1-11 was going to be, but everyone knows their job. And like, I think we're all guilty of it. There's like not a snobbery, but like people will look down on having players like Murphy's in your squads, like Dan Burns. But actually, to win stuff, you need those kind of players. It's not about the stars all the time. It's about the guys that are going to come in that will give you maybe 15, 20 games in a season. But that's going to be a really important 15, 20 games. Like, those players are almost as important as your Isaks, as your Tonalis and Brunos and stuff. So to have them players that, you know, aren't really big names, but will always turn up for the team and know their role and will always do a job, they're just as important.
Yeah, but Charlie, it's not just that. He can tell the rest of the players what it means to the fans as well. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like Dan Burn and that.
Well, Bruno Guimaraes certainly seemed to have got it, doesn't he? If you watch his interview after the game,
they love him there. I mean, all those players will be God there now. Like, they're in Newcastle history forever.
I think a lot of people as well, like a lot of fan bases talk about like style a lot when it comes to like the way their teams play and stuff, but he just has them balanced. I think what every football fan base like wants in their team is balance, and he keeps them defensively solid, but also like when there's time to press, there's a time to press and hit them on the attack and stuff. And like, also you got to give credit to the players that did step up, like a Dan Burn and Murphy, but also like a Harvey Barnes. Like we're talking about Gordon all season, but even players like Harvey Barnes is like, this is my chance to step up in the final and become a big game player and become, if not a legend, a cult hero. And that's what they all did. They all just made the right decisions on the pitch. They haven't always had their first 11 out. They haven't really spent as much as they probably want to this season as well. And at times they probably haven't looked their best despite their position in the table. But to leave with a trophy, to end what, a 70-year trophy drought is amazing.
Yeah. And they never make excuses either. That's one thing about Newcastle. Yeah. Never make excuses, whether it's key players missing or whatever. They just get on with it and they find a way. But just
he was last season. He was
Livramento was outstanding, by the way. Like,
he was brilliant.
Can I say? I think he's one of the best fullbacks in the country. I think he's a top footballer.
Yeah.
And I was gutted when, I mean, obviously Spurs don't buy players from Chelsea, but sorry, Spurs don't buy players like that. But I think he's been really good. Him and Hall, I think, have really gone under the radar quite a lot this year.
Both produced by us.
So, all right, we'll get to you. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get to Chelsea.
No, I'll just
we'll get to Chelsea.
Wasn't Ola Aina produced by you guys as well?
Yeah, Aina as well. Yeah.
We got it's all about
players everywhere. Hudson Odoi. Yeah.
Guys,
you know when you sorry, Savva, can I just ask him a very quick question? When you mentioned that it became St. James's of the South. I mean, I was amazed at how quiet the Liverpool fans were. And I did see a particular tweet brought up that said that there was this Liverpool fan saying that it was really sorry for all the genuine Liverpool fans that couldn't get there, because when I looked around, I was surrounded by creatures and people that weren't even interested in the game. Do you think that's a possibility, that there were a lot of Liverpool fans there that were tourists?
I'm not gonna lie, there were a lot that were just there for the day out. You can tell they don't really support the club. They like when the game was going on, they're filming Wembley and whatnot. You can just tell they weren't really fans. Now, I'm all for, obviously, no matter where you're from, you can support the club, but buy into the club, learn the song, start chanting. You can't just be out. You need to create an atmosphere, because one thing I've been to our last two cup finals. I was at the semi-final against City a couple of seasons ago, and we were 3-0 up by the half time, and you saw the flares, you saw the atmosphere we always create at Wembley. It was dire yesterday, and if you saw Newcastle and all their black and white flags, you lot saw it on the TV. It was actually beautiful. Sometimes you just have to put your hands up and appreciate that for it is. That was beautiful. They outsang us. They were amazing yesterday. And you looked at all of us. We wore black like it was our funeral in the end, but there was hardly any red. There wasn't a sea of red. They were just, everyone was wearing their coats. No one was really singing. That was it. And I think these things are important as well. When the players look at their fans and see their fans want it more than the opposition, it galvanizes you. It gives you that extra belief. Yeah,
absolutely.
It also looked like the black had spread into the red. You know what I'm saying?
So, guys, how do Newcastle, to round this section off, how do Newcastle go from, we've seen them, they've been a good team for 2-3 years under Howe. They've had a couple of dips with injuries and stuff, but Champions League qualification, they gave a good account of themselves in the Champions League group stage, 2 finals. How did Newcastle go from winning this first trophy now to kicking on and being in that top 4 race more regularly? How do they get in and amongst it?
They've got to spend money and add more quality to the squad. Simple as that. They have to spend. You know, they've not really invested over the last 2 to 3 windows because of, you know, PSR issues and whatnot. But I think this summer they will be able to spend probably a lot more money than they've been able to spend recently. It's about getting a recruitment right at the end. It's like with all clubs, isn't it? You've got to spend money and you've got to get your recruitment right. So they've got to bring in the right quality of players. They've got to bring in what they need. Keep hold of your Gordons, your Isaks, your Brunos and whatnot. And, you know, there's no reason, if Newcastle do that and they get the recruitment right in the summer, there's no reason why they can't be an established top 4 team year in, year out and challenge for trophies. But they've got to get their recruitment right. It's as simple as that. They just got to spend the money.
Do you know what? I think what this trophy does for them, I believe they get top 5. And now I think Isak and Bruno are the 2 where they're not sure if they'll keep. But I'm actually going to, this might be a hot take. I believe if they do get top 5, I can see maybe the both of them staying for another season. Bruno Bruno is 28. So if there'll be one to leave, I think Isak would be more likely to stay now because he's got a few more years on his side. I do think Bruno might look at it and think, let me leave on a high. I've just won a trophy. I want to win the bigger trophies. But who's to say both of them stay and they add more quality to what they already have? If football's a funny game, you can go from here to there in a season. Who's to say they're not challenging for a league next season if they keep all their players and add more quality? You just never know. But I think this has done a lot for their club, and I think the players saw what it means. I think this motivates them. If you've seen in past years what a League Cup can do, Charlie will tell you
kickstarted everything with Jose.
Yeah, kickstarts. Pep was winning it 4 years in a row. And I remember a couple scenes for us.
We
won it.
Oh, no. I didn't worded it.
Actually, they went on a little run. To be fair, though, they got top ownership, so they went on a little run. When we won it 2 years ago, we then won the FA Cup afterwards. So it kind of galvanized you. It's a catalyst to more things. Apart from last season, we won it last season, then we turned shy. But you get the gist. Like, it can be quite big for the club, and I think Newcastle goes strength to strength now. Honestly, I think they'll.
I think their squad is close. That if it's recruited correctly, and as Charlie said, hold on some names, they can challenge for the title next season. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that.
I think if they keep their 11 fit, and if they send like a centre back alongside Botman when he comes back fit, and a proper right winger to like help that front three of Isak and Gordon, like they can properly challenge.
And they need a better backup 9 as well. Callum Wilson's done. He's always injured. They haven't really got a backup to it. They've got no backup to Isak. So they get a better backup to Isak, right wing option, and then add another top quality centre back. They need to go and get a goalkeeper as well. Then if they can address them 4 positions, they're in a really good place next season.
Funny thing is, Charlie, Callum Wilson probably gets into your starting 11.
No, he doesn't because he's always injured.
If we're saying Newcastle's going to get top 5 now, so are we saying Chelsea are going to drop out then? Is that what we're all agreeing on?
Well, I'm moving this conversation nicely along now to the top 4 race, which obviously brings in Charlie and then and Wolfie in terms of where their clubs are in the league. Look, if we look at the Premier League table, guys, at the moment, I'll be honest, it looks like I've been very wrong. I said that I thought Forest would drop out. I said I thought the Man City were a shoo-in. I still think Man City will get it, but look how close that is from. I mean, Bournemouth on 44 points to Chelsea on 49 points.
Crazy.
We've got 7 clubs separated by 5 points.
Brilliant.
And that was a compliment, by the way, and Wolfie, that I didn't include Nottingham Forest there because I think that you're going to get it now.
I did notice.
Oh, you changed
so take it while you can. It was a compliment. Chelsea, look, if we look at these teams, who there is in any sort of form? Who's going to get it? Villa have won 2 of their last 6. Bournemouth 1 of their last 6. Fulham 4 of their last 6.
Right,
no one
isn't it?
talked about Fulham. Brighton haven't lost in 5 and won 4 of their last 5. Newcastle, a bit sketchy. City only won 2 of their last 6. Chelsea 3. Who's going to get this, guys? Because no one seems to.
No one's in good. No one's in the form. The fact that we're still 4th, given the run of form that we've been on, is a little bit embarrassing. I mean, don't get me wrong, 100% I'm taking it and I'm happy about it. But given the run of form that we've on, we shouldn't be anywhere near 4th in the table.
But you won't be, Charlie. You won't be. Like, I hear this from Chelsea fans a lot. Oh, we're still in 4th. You know, everyone should be embarrassed. Well, context, you just got to play Southampton and Leicester back to back. That's why you're 4th. If you look at your running is horrific.
It's tough.
Your running is horrific. You will not stay 4th.
Have you played Southampton and Leicester, Wolfie? Yeah.
No, we still got Leicester to play.
Oh, so that don't count then when you play Leicester.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying you've had the games. They're tucked under your belt. Your recent form is based off you lot gassing up, beating Southampton and Leicester.
No one's gassing up, beating Southampton and Leicester.
The fact that you lot keep saying we're still 4th and everyone else still can't get ahead of us is embarrassing. If you gassing up, beating Southampton and Leicester, I mean, if you hadn't beat Southampton and Leicester, you wouldn't be 4th.
Sure, but we did, so it's irrelevant. And you've got
exactly. So don't gas up. We're in 4th. Where's everyone else?
Right now, we are the 4th best team in the league. That's facts because we're 4th in the table. Like, from between since the start of the season and middle of March, we are the 4th best team. Now, whether that we finish like that remains to be seen. And it's probably unlikely.
You know as well as I do, your running is horrific.
And Newcastle obviously can go a point above us if they win their game in hand, whoever that's against. I don't know who it's against, but yeah, look, I said that it's going to be difficult. As soon as the January window closed, I didn't fancy us to finish top 4 because of the lack of additions, and the form still hasn't really improved. Yeah, he'd won 4 games in a row heading into that Arsenal game in terms of Leicester, Southampton, and the 2 games against Copenhagen. But the Arsenal game went exactly as I expected. Exactly as I expected. Expected it to be a boring affair. Didn't expect to score any goals in that game. We went there and set up for a 0-0, and we conceded from a set piece. It was one of the worst games of football I've probably ever watched from both teams. I mean, but Arsenal didn't have to really offer too much themselves. They did the bare minimum. But again, I suppose, what are you expecting when Arsenal are missing Saka and Havertz, their 2 best attacking players probably, and then we're missing our 3 best attacking players in Palmer, Madueke, and Jackson? You're not going to get a good game of football, are you, in terms of attack mindedness? And so I was disappointed that we didn't offer a bit more, but I wasn't surprised. I expected it to be a draw. Maresca definitely set up for the 0-0, and we sloppy marking from a set piece, and that was a difference in the end. But our big game record and our away record in general is really poor. We haven't won in our last 7 away games, which is awful.
I think the embarrassing thing is your best chance was from their keeper. Their keeper created.
Well, yeah, but literally, it was Cucurella, and it was a shot, but it was an all right shot, but it was straight at Raya, and obviously, he almost fumbled it in. But the problem is, though, like, Cucurella was our biggest attacking threat. We had 2 shots on target, both from him. Sancho offered nothing, and Nkunku nothing. Neto works hard, but he's not a centre forward. The way we're sending long balls up to Neto, expecting him to be prime Drogba up against Gabriel and Saliba and hold the ball up, was just ridiculous. I mean, look, I'd rather us send it long than have Sanchez pissing about with it at the back. But yeah, it wasn't a good performance.
I would like to know, Charlie, how you see this running going with how blunt your attack is.
Well, Jackson and
Madueke, you got Newcastle.
Yeah, we got Man United, we got Liverpool, we got Brentford away, we got Fulham away. We got tough games. No doubt about it. And to be honest, to get Champions League football, you probably need, from the last 9 games, we need 5 or 6 points probably. 5 or 6 wins from 9 to guarantee top 5. And I can't see where they're coming from, those wins.
Let's have a look. So you have got, from what I'm seeing here, well, you've got 3 points in your next game because you're playing Tottenham at home.
We always beat Spurs at home. Yeah, that's +3.
Bring it up, Savva. Can you bring it up?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I can bring it up. I just had it on the Sky Sports website, so bear with me 1 second. Let's bring it up. There we go. Present. Stop screen, present, share screen.
I tell you what's funny, Charlie, it shows you how things have changed. When you were talking about difficult games, you actually mentioned Manchester United. And as Forest fans, we're considering that one of our easy winnable games.
But just our record against United is so bad. Like, just generally speaking, it's poor.
Charlie, please get top 4. These Forest fans.
Well, top 5 will be fine. I'll take top 5.
Well, hang on. Just quickly before we look at the. Remind me in a minute, top 5. Remind me that. I want to talk about that. So you've got Tottenham at home, followed by a derby against Brentford away.
Tough.
Ignore the European games for the moment. You've then got Ipswich at home, which I would fully expect you guys to win that.
Yeah, that's a win, yeah.
Having said that, they did lose away to them.
We did lose away, but I wouldn't expect us to win at home.
The only club to have lost to Ipswich at home this season.
Yeah, only one.
Then you've got Fulham and Everton coming up after that, followed by Liverpool and Newcastle. I think there's 4 or 5 very winnable games in there for.
Well, the home games, Tottenham, Ipswich, and Everton has got to be 9 points. And then you're looking at you need to find 2 or 3 wins from Brentford away, Fulham away, United and Liverpool.
How many points do you want, Charlie?
And Newcastle 49, I think. So we basically what we've got to do is win those home games against Spurs, Everton, and Liverpool. Oh, sorry, not Liverpool. Spurs, Everton, and Ipswich, and then we've got to get a result. We've got to beat at least 2 of Brentford, Newcastle, Forest, and Fulham away.
So your best hope is that we're on the beach by the time you play us, and that we just handshake
that is
probably
going to benefit us.
We'll be on the beach.
This is the thing. Like, that's why I look at Liverpool at home, for example. and maybe think we could possibly get something from that because the league will be done by then and Liverpool aren't really playing for anything. Same potentially with Forest away as well.
Can I just ask? Sorry, I was reading yesterday. I don't know how true this is. Not everything I read is true. I've worked that out in my time of being a human being.
Really?
Otherwise, Spurs would have the greatest team in the world, according to transfer stories. I read yesterday that apparently, if Arsenal and Villa both get knocked out in the quarterfinals, that England doesn't get a 5th place. Is that right?
No, it's already confirmed. The 5th place is already confirmed.
Yeah, it's not already confirmed. Is that 98%?
Sure it is.
Is that 98%?
I thought it was because it's like 90%
now. Yeah,
98%.
It's
like
the second place country. I think is Spain at the moment. It's not. It's like 99.9%. You know what I'm saying? Liverpool beating PSG was the one that pushed it to the probability of likely. Not PSG. It was that you beat. Yeah, when you beat PSG 1-0, that did count towards the coefficient. So that pushed it near enough to the edge. But it's at 98.
So is everyone an Aston Villa fan now? Because obviously no one wants Arsenal to win it. Are we all like, everyone's going for Aston Villa to knock PSG out over 2 legs, are we?
I don't think it really matters because probably after you and United won as well, that has pushed it.
And
even
we'll
further.
get a bit further in the Conference League as well, so that probably helps.
I can tell you, I've got it.
Don't count on us for anything. I don't listen. We're Spursy enough. I don't want to be the reason why England don't get another place in Europe. Right?
That would be hilarious. That would be typical.
Oh, mate, listen, anything's possible with Spurs. Just quickly, I've got a super chat here. I love this. Little bit of a slide dig into Charlie's ribs here. Like it. Wolves, Finland has said, Wolves are better than Chelsea after Gary O'Neill sacking points-wise and after 16 game week.
Wouldn't surprise me. I've not looked.
I won't go into this, but Wolves have done brilliantly under Vitor Pereira. They were bottom 3 when he joined. And if I'm not wrong, they're now 9 points clear. Guys, I truly believe that anybody other than the bottom 3 now could not pick up another point and still wouldn't go in a relegation battle. They are that bad.
This is the worst relegation battle you can see, though. Like, there's 9 points between 2 places. Like, it's ridiculous between Wolves and Ipswich.
Yeah, but having said that, Chelsea are 15th in the form table.
Yeah, we're terrible right now. Yeah.
Over how many games, Wolfie?
5. The last 5.
Over the last 5.
And that's including their 2 free wins. In fact, their 2 free wins are their only points out of that one.
I bet we're still below them.
Let's have a look. In the last 15 games.
No, you're above them, mate. You're in 11th on your.
In the last 15 games. Chelsea, actually, let's go back to 20. In the last 20 games, Chelsea are 8th. In the last 15 games, Chelsea are 12th. In the last 10 games, Chelsea are 14th. And it's getting worse and worse. And in the last 5 games, Chelsea are 15th.
Yeah, not surprised.
This is the opposite to last season, Charlie, because last season, Chelsea started terribly for 10 games, and then you were excellent for the last 28 games. This year is just that. What's going mad, mate?
I mean, to be fair, this time last season, we're still bottom half of the table. So, I mean, obviously we picked it up and, so we are in a better position, obviously, in terms of comparative to this time last season. But yeah, no, it's a concern. We've not played well for a number of weeks. Obviously, having key players out hasn't helped, but the players that we have had available haven't produced anywhere near enough. And we're just so easy to play against. It's just so predictable what we're going to do. And it's a problem, mate. Obviously, lack of goals in the team right now. We're making mistakes. We concede poor goals. Yeah, it's not looking great. And you just don't really know where the next win's going to come from. I mean, obviously, I know we will obviously pick some wins up. And I know that we're not going to not win again until the end of the season, but it is difficult to know. It's difficult to see like where you can pick out enough wins to get that Champions League football. But it kind of feels like I wouldn't even be surprised though, like even after how bad we've been this season, that if we somehow still end up scraping top 5 just because of the inconsistencies from everyone else, it just kind of has that sort of.
I don't think there's enough inconsistent teams in and around you, though, mate.
Well, there are. I
don't know about
no. I mean, like, who would be less consistent than you?
And yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I think
agree.
you would be the most inconsistent with the hardest running as well, And I don't see where your goals are. I mean, you've ruined Nkunku, man. Absolutely destroyed him. He was quality before he came to you. Neto up front. I mean,
we had no choice. We have to.
Do you know what, Charlie? I think
hang on. That doesn't quite ring true. Sorry, that doesn't quite ring true. Just quickly, if you actually look at this, and this to back Charlie up a little bit here, in this last 6 games, according to the BBC form table, only 2 of the top 10 that are chasing that top 4 spot have a better form guide than Chelsea. So whilst Chelsea aren't great, only Fulham, if I'm not wrong,
again, you have to take Leicester and Southampton into consideration, bro.
But you play who you play. You play who you play, Wolfie.
My logic, this is why I back what Wolfie's saying. My logic for Chelsea not getting top 5, really? just to add on for what Wolfie said. So to add on to what Wolfie said is, I think Newcastle not purposely, but their form dipped because they put all their eggs in, and it paid off all their eggs in the Carabao Cup final, right? I now think that you're going to see a spike up in form for Newcastle. Yeah. I think City can't get worse than what they've been, and they've got the most favourable run in. I just think them two teams.
We've been waiting for City all season, mate.
That is true. That is true.
Let's be real.
They are there. They're
just drawn at home to Brighton, and evidently Brighton should have won that game.
Everyone around that top 4 race, the top 4 race is usually, the top 4 race is usually inconsistent anyway. But everyone around that space have been like inconsistent in terms of form. We've seen Brighton win the last 4 out of 5, but before that, I can't remember the last time they won a game. They lost like 3 or 4.
They won in 7. They
didn't win in 7. So there's going to be waves. Like, we're not going to be able to call it. I generally think it will be just Chelsea and City that take the last 2.
Man City.
By the way, I just looked it up.
They played 4 of the bottom 6 in their running. They've got 4 of the bottom 6.
Yeah,
so they've got Southampton, they've got Leicester, they've got Everton, and hang on, who else did I say? Am I making this up? So Man City have got Leicester as their next league game, followed by Man United, followed by Palace, followed by Everton, followed by Villa, Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth at home on the final day of the season. I think there's 6 wins there for them. I think
there's one place up for grabs, boys. If we're being honest, there's one place up for grabs.
That was going to be my next question. Are you boys, you Forest lads, are you now 100% comfortable that top 4 is in the bag for you lot?
I reckon it's 90%. I reckon 90%.
You can never be 100%.
Yes.
Can you?
Okay. I knew that was going to be the 2 answers. I knew that.
I'm not really interested in who's behind us. I'm still trying to catch Arsenal. So
yes.
Can I just say though that I just checked up, and I didn't know this. I'll be honest, because we've not had a lot of interest in the Champions League over the past few years. But evidently, it's the top 2 countries that get 5 places. So England are miles ahead on anyway. So I think that's pretty nailed on. I am very confident that we will. A, because of the gap we've got, and B, because of our fixtures coming up. It's 4 points over the next ones below us. Chelsea. 4 points.
No, in terms of the gap between the gap to 6th place.
Yeah, it's about 7 points, I think, something like that.
So 7 points with 9 games left.
But they've got a game in hand.
Newcastle call it 6 then. Let's call it 6 and they win that. So let's base it off 6 points with 9 games left. Forest probably need 2 more wins to guarantee it, I reckon.
Yeah, we got Leicester, so we still got a free win coming, and we got another relegation team next to Man U.
The only team, I think the only team
where is the Leicester game?
Play
at Forest.
At Forest, at City Ground.
It doesn't matter, man.
I don't win another game of the season apart from Forest away. I will be.
Bro, it's impossible. Did you not? Man, you looked like a half decent team yesterday against Leicester. Come on, let's be real here.
Even we beat them.
Man U, by the way, I looked yesterday. They've only lost 1 in 10.
They also haven't won back-to-back games all season in the Premier League.
I'm pretty sure. They've
drawn a lot of games now, sir.
Just quickly,
I might be lying. Every now and then
they lost to you, Savva. I mean, do we need to continue this conversation?
Just quickly on Leicester. On Leicester, by the way.
Man United, win, draw. They drew with Fulham, went out on penalties, if you want to count that. Right? Before that, lost to Spurs, win, draw. They've lost 1 game in 90 minutes in the last 10. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but they haven't won back-to-back in the league all season. Not once.
Yeah.
Not
Well, they're playing us on Tuesday, not on the week on Tuesday.
That's
So
just
that
being devil's
ends a little
advocate.
sequence, doesn't it?
I'm more
But
confident
the other
about
thing is,
beating Man
I was
U
gonna
than
say,
Ipswich.
My confidence comes a lot from A, the inconsistency of the teams behind us. I think we've established that. And B, we have got a really good run in. I think we only play one team that's in the bottom, that's not in the bottom half. All our games are against two teams that are in the top half of the table. The rest of them are all teams we've already smashed this season. So,
and you guys are good enough
we
where
have reason to be confident. I'm not saying 100%. Of course not. Football's football.
Yeah, you'd say 5 of the teams we're playing are either full relegation fodder or will be on the beach when we meet them, be at home or away. Mike, I'm looking at your boys. We got your boys away towards the end. I don't see you playing for anything. You know what I mean?
And we don't very often lose at home as well. It's a real. I think we've lost 2 games at home all season. Yeah, 2 games.
And Wolfie, right? Could you see maybe your league form getting interrupted because of the FA Cup? You think that's a possibility?
The FA Cup comes before our next match, so we've got that against Brighton.
We have got 3 games in 7 days. We have got 3 games in 7 days.
I'm happy to go out of the FA Cup if it means top 4. I couldn't really give a shit. But if we win it, I'll be shameless about it. Don't you worry.
The FA Cup is it away at Brighton?
Yeah, it's away at Brighton. I probably think we go out. To be honest,
it's a good tie.
I would have preferred it at home.
Yeah, it's not easy to call, is it? It's not easy to call. We've drawn away at Brighton 2-2 and beat them 7-0 at home, but obviously home is home. So I think it's a good tie for the neutral. I couldn't call it if I'm honest.
Let's be honest as well. Like Forest aren't going to be in a situation where even when they do slip up, like let's say they were to slip up a couple of games in a row, even if they was hypothetically, the teams below them aren't good enough this season to be winning a couple of games in a row to completely overtake Forest.
And a lot of those teams play each other as well, by the way. In running, so there's going to be points dropped.
I think for me, the most losses Forest will get will be 3. And that's like me being really cynical. I think we lose away to Villa. We could lose away to West Ham. I know you'll be on the beach, but we haven't beaten you yet there. And the other one would be like, I don't know, maybe Spurs away. We still haven't won there.
Wait, Wolfie,
I need that one. Sorry, not Spurs away. Sorry, I mean Crystal Palace away. Sorry.
You haven't beaten us.
That was genuinely a slip of the tongue. I wasn't even trying to try you something. I think Crystal Palace are playing really well. I like their manager. I like what he's doing. Those are our 3 toughest games.
What about final game of the season? You ain't beaten us at the City Ground yet.
You're irrelevant though, bro. I mean, you lost to us.
That really season, how the hell we didn't win that, I will never know. We were all over you.
Yeah.
It was
And on top of that, Charlie, you lost to Steve Cooper at home, man. Steve Cooper only won 1 away game a season, and you lost to him. So Chelsea, I'm not worried about. Chelsea, basically, you need to kiss the ring and beg us on the final day because we'll be on the beach by then, mate.
I love this.
There you have it.
Kaz has turned up. Kaz, how we doing?
I'm good, thank you. I was sleeping. My bad.
What time do you call this, mate?
I was sleeping from like quarter to 4. Yeah.
It's been celebrating a Man U win all night. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I mean,
and a Liverpool loss. You've been celebrating.
That's basically a Man U. That's basically a Man United win.
do you know the worst thing about this, Mike's right? The worst thing is I liked Man U being where they were because it felt like a cozy little table, the 4 of us, us, Spurs, Everton, West Ham, and Man U.
Mud brothers, man.
And now Man U have even gone above the rest of us. It's like, oh, that's how
Man U moved up the table.
I'd like to propose
congratulations, Cass. Sorry, I missed that, bro.
So I can see why Savva's at the bottom, but I don't know why Mike's is above me right now. I think it's a little bit disingenuous.
I've got to have something. Like, come on, man.
Hang on. Hang on. So are you one of these people? You want it to be in league position? Is that what you want?
I think.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I think Romz should be front and center. To be fair, so
hang on. I'll tell you what. How have I not put Romz at the top? So
league position.
Me and Ant.
Hang
Charlie.
on. Hang on. Oh God, hang on. Where am I? So Mike's.
You're bottom, mate. Don't worry.
Mike.
Oh
Yeah,
no, Mike's is bottom. Sorry, Mike.
Sorry,
How
Mike.
are above Spurs?
How does it
below
feel up there,
Spurs.
Savva?
No, we're on
Good
the
up
same
there?
points here, Bob, on goal difference.
I can't say the same.
Yo, Mike, can I
you
ask
believe
about
our
Potter?
goal difference? Our goal
Yeah.
difference, right? Is 28 better than West Ham's.
Bro,
How is
this
that possible?
league is ridiculous, man. Half of that is
It's mad.
Lopetegui as well, by the way. Half our goal difference is Lopetegui.
Are you happy with Potter? What's been the general
Let's go to
consensus?
West Ham.
No, I am happy with Potter, to be fair. It's mainly like the players have gone through 3 managers now, like most of them. So I'm kind of just looking at them to take more responsibility, really. Like I'm not expecting much from a manager that's not had a pre-season, got hired 1 training session before an FA Cup game to instill his style of play into players that can't pass a football 5 yards. So I'm happy with Potter. Like he's getting more out of players than the 2 previous managers were. He's finding ways to adjust in game as well. Like we haven't had a manager in a while who's trying to tweak something in game when it's not working. Is a bit more proactive, which is some managers that leave it to the last minute, just sub people on in the 86 minutes to try and win a game when it's already lost, sort of thing. Like,
But
so
you're
I'm
happy
with
with
Potter.
him because he's not Lopetegui, or do you think going forward he's
No.
Neo the one?
I'm not one of these people that was like, anyone but Lopetegui, because that anyone could be another dud. But with our way our owners operate, they only hire 3 agent managers, and he was probably the only one that I was looking at that I was like, I would have been happy with. And I do actually think he'll improve us going forward. I'm not saying we'll like get straight back into Europe or anything, but we'd actually look like a respectable team. We won't be getting battered week in, week out, which is like.
Is that
minimum
because you
requirement for
resorted
me.
back to David Moyes football, parking the bus?
No, to be fair, we've adjusted to each opponent. To be fair, like we've approached every game different. So
What is the
like,
style? What is the style, Mikey? Is it like defensive, counter-attacky, high pressy?
Yeah, we like it depending on the opponent. We like
What?
like to press high against the lesser teams and then sit back against obviously the bigger teams. Like we sat back against Arsenal, but against Leicester and Newcastle and Everton, we actually pressed a bit higher.
Newcastle, you pressed a bit higher. You sure about that one? I
Yeah.
watched that game.
Yeah, we pressed higher than we did
I
against
saw-
like Arsenal. And that. It was a
Men
was a big
behind the
block.
ball and Kudus as an outlet. I swear it was a horrendous game. What
Oh, yeah.
one of the worst games of the season I've ever watched.
definitely.
It's
definitely. I was
garbage.
there. I was there,
Yeah, it was
unfortunately.
bad, yeah, it was.
But that's the thing. We're just missing a presence up front as well. We're forcing this whole Kudus and Bowen thing up front when our players can't pass in between the lines, so they just send it long to people that are 5'9" and 5'7".
Has
against big
Ferguson
6'4"
done much?
centre-backs.
Has Ferguson
No.
done much?
No, but
Right.
he's only been just like subbed on for like last 5 and 10 minutes or whatever. We're not there was no really point
I
of
like him.
signing him on loan, to be honest with you. There was no point in signing him because we don't play him. Like whether he's a good player or not is kind of irrelevant at this stage because we need a presence up front. He's one of our only available 9s, and then we don't play him. But we're giving him from January to May to settle into a season and get your match sharpness up. There was no sense in that.
It's a
Can I-
loan
can I ask
without
the
an
fan-
obligation, yeah?
Sorry?
Is it a loan without an obligation on Ferguson?
It's a straight loan.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah,
else.
Okay, I
straight
don't understand. Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. It's just a straight loan, isn't it? I don't understand the logic behind it because I would have taken him at
Right.
Forest, but
Mhm.
you're either going to sort his form out and send him
Always
back to
injured.
Brighton better.
He wasn't fit.
That's why I said when we signed him.
Always
That's why I
injured.
said when we signed him, I didn't get it
Always injured.
because we're just
Yeah,
developing a player. Like
what's the incentive for West Ham? I didn't understand it.
I didn't like. It
Score
was just like
some
an
goals.
opportunity sort of thing. Yeah. It
Score
was just
some
like an
goals.
opportunity
That's what
signing. Like the problem is, yeah, as you said, like if we develop him, and let's say he did well for us, like we're developing him for another club when they price us out, or another club gets him when they can actually afford him or whatever, or they keep him for themselves as a squad player. If he does bad, then what was the point of signing for him? What was the point of signing him?
But
He's
he
only
wasn't
coming on
fit,
like last
was he?
week.
You
Find
can't,
him unfit.
He wasn't
you
fit.
can't develop you can't develop a player that's continually injured and gets about 10 minutes every 3 weeks. That's not developing
Exactly.
a player.
Exactly. Just
Can I
before we
tell you, I
signed
was
him,
really
he literally just got
surprised.
injured just before him.
I thought the whole point of West Ham loaning Evan Ferguson was that you needed a target man. You needed the focal point with Antonio being out. I
Yeah.
expected to look at West Ham's lineup every week and go, right, boom, Ferguson's there with Bowen and Kudus playing off him, for example, or Paqueta, whoever.
Mm.
So when I keep seeing that you're playing like these two kind of false 9s with Kudus and Bowen, who I think are both very good, both walk in Spurs' team, but not as centre forwards, that's really baffled me.
Oh, more than that.
Really
Yeah,
happy as well.
you forgot about the 3 defensive midfielders in midfield starting as well in
Yep.
Prowse, Alvarez, and Souček. And I see Souček up front with Alvarez. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I didn't get that either. But like at the same time, we don't have options.
Max,
Three
where's
back to five.
Where's Gil Hermy, the guy you signed from
Bro,
Palmeiras?
He's gone, isn't it?
He's off the
No, he's still there. He's still there. He's still here. Like
Yeah, he's
Saudi
still
were interested. But I don't know why he doesn't play because he didn't play. He hasn't played all season. Hasn't been given a chance. We signed him right.
Money
No, he's been
laundering,
fully fit all season. He's been fully fit all season.
Didn't you pay like 20 mil for him?
It's money laundering, 100%.
Yeah,
He's come to the Prem, doesn't play, and all of a sudden he's gone to Saudi. It doesn't. Come on, there's no one to see it as a weird deal.
And honestly, neutrals will say good things about Mohamed Kudus. Kudus has not turned up once this season. He's not
because you keep playing him left mid.
Yeah.
No, but it's not even just left mid. We played him up right when we played him in 10. I'll give him a blind under the previous manager, but he hasn't been that good this season.
Do you think Kudus stays this summer?
I thought no before this season and as the season went on, but he's not exactly helping himself. I'm not sure he wants to pay the release clause after what they're seeing this season.
How's Ward Prowse been since he's been back from Forest?
He's actually been all right, to be fair. He's actually been all right, but he's not the level. None of the midfielders we have are the level.
Look how cheeky.
They're not good enough on the ball.
Except one of them. I like that Carlos Soler. He's mid.
Yeah, Soler's good.
Yeah,
Is he on loan?
yeah. Honestly, I think you should play more cats. Honestly, like
I was genuinely wondering, man, because he was a debate in our fan base.
You know what I did?
It was nasty work.
No, but like Carlos Soler should definitely play more. But like
the last thing
was Soler on loan. Soler on loan, was it?
Yeah, Soler's on loan. So that's a straight loan as well. I like him as well.
But the thing is, you got loads of issues because obviously Paqueta's about to go like in prison for the rest of his life or whatever. You've got an aging midfield. You know, Souček, he's. I mean, you're relying on him. I know he got the goal and what have you, but he's done. You got Ward-Prowse in his 30s.
You see, Wolfie?
You need another rebuild, and I thought your last summer was meant to have been the rebuild. It's like
that's what I thought.
It's not great right now.
Everyone's gassing that West Ham window, myself included. Our West Ham have an unbelievable window, like could get European football. It's been terrible. It's been a big disappointment.
We gave all of that money to Lopetegui. We gave all that money to Lopetegui.
This rebuild word every time a new manager comes in. I think that Potter needs 2 or 3 players that play his way in the summer, and I think you're going to be all right next season.
They're too old, Savva. The squad's too old.
I don't think the entire squad is.
You make everything sound 10 times worse.
The squad isn't as bad as it was last season. It's not as bad as it was last season, but at the same time, it's still way too old. But also, we just don't have enough technically gifted midfielders to play his style of play. If we're going to go in the summer and spend, it has to be on a striker and 2 or 3 midfielders. If we're only going to sign like 4 players,
I think Soler, you could play Soler, Kudus, or Paquetá if you wanted to. You can play him on the wing and Alvarez, and you've got a balanced midfield. I've never seen it really this season. The thing is, you've got one good defender that can play ball and do a little bit of everything, which is Tadibo, in my opinion, but he gets injured. Wan-Bissaka, for all the great tackles he does and a couple assists he does, he can't get you up the pitch as much as you like him to, but he's been deep.
Wan-Bissaka's been our best player.
He's been all right this season. But when you want to play further up the pitch, you lot will find out about this guy. Like a lot further up the pitch. Lopetegui used to do the gung-ho stuff with him, but that made no sense for the fullbacks because they left too much space in behind. But when you want to recycle possession the way I think Potter will do, I feel like, oh, good luck with this one. Don't mind
I think that's what I'm saying. Tuck him into the 3.
Tillman's a back 3 defender.
Yeah,
he's decent, but he's not levels. And your left back, oh my god, are you still playing Cresswell and them lot?
Emerson.
No, we're not.
Emerson and whoever else.
Cresswell's only played a couple games. Like Emerson and Skulls have been our left wing backs.
Who's Max? You're missing Johnson. You're missing Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I'm there, man. Get out of here, man. That's the worst players we've seen play for West Ham, man.
There's a basis of a good squad there, though. Like, I know it needs a lot of additions to it, but there is the basis of a good squad there. There's decent defenders, there's a couple of good fullbacks, midfield needs a little bit of work, and there's some good options going forward. Like, there is the basis and there's a framework of something decent. It just needs.
I'll tell you what it needs. It needs David Moyes.
I think what people have got to remember, I don't think this gets taken into account enough. You've got to remember that the style of manager they've gone from Lopetegui to Potter is very different. And these players won't be the players that Potter thinks, hang on, I can play the way I've played at previous clubs. I think you've got to give him this summer to see what West Ham are actually going to be. I think we're too quick to, yes, they've got a few older players that they need to move on. I think they'll be all right. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a very good.
They need one player. They need really one player max, really. Well, two, in my opinion, a centre back, and they definitely need a striker. Because look how he used to have Danny Welbeck playing all the time. They've got Chris Wood and whatnot. Nah, he wouldn't suit them, though. He likes a Danny Welbeck type striker, no?
That's the most West Ham thing to do, by the way. Just sign someone washed for a big six club. Like, legitimately, that's all we do.
You got Nunes. You got Nunes for you.
Hey, Moyes watched him like 4 years ago. We tried bidding 40 million for him for Benfica on deadline.
Yeah, you did bid for him.
Yeah. Bro, we bidded for him, Rafinha, and Calvin Phillips all on deadline day to make it look like we tried in that window. But I generally think we need a couple midfielders, centre back, and a striker, like minimum.
I think Darwin Núñez would thrive at a club like West Ham. I don't think he's Liverpool.
He'd do my fucking head in.
I think he would be everything you've not got. He's got power, pace. He puts it about
chaos.
What's the last part?
He's a better Antonio.
What about the last?
He would work at Forest.
Finish though, can he?
On the bench, Wolfie.
No, I think he would work in Nuno's system. I don't rate him, but his style would suit Nuno. 100%.
Yeah, playing on a break, obviously. But I'm saying, does he start though?
Yeah,
not right now, maybe.
Over who?
Wait, I'm talking next season.
Who does he start over next season? If you've got
Chris Wood.
Really?
Yeah. Wait, you were just saying a week ago that you wouldn't stop Kane.
No, Chris
next season.
Chris Wood is 33 years old. And
still better do this.
Can you imagine?
Romz made a good 18 goals this season, which is incredible. I wouldn't put 1 pence on him scoring 15 goals next season. I really wouldn't. He's having a great season.
The other day,
I might be wrong.
The other day, when Wolfie's telling me that he wouldn't swap Chris Wood for Harry Kane, but you would swap him for Darwin.
Yeah, I know, but that's just stupid, isn't it?
No, it's not stupid. Because Harry Kane would cost about 67 million for a guy who's the same age as Chris Wood.
Yeah, but Kane would score 20 goals next season in a Forest.
Kane would score 30 goals.
This is Harry Kane would.
I wouldn't take Kane.
You wouldn't take quite regularly.
Hold on. You want me to spend 67 to 70 million on Kane, who's going to be 34? No thanks.
I didn't register that.
I didn't register. Hang on. One at a time. Sorry, everyone's talking.
He said swap, though, not pay.
Hang on. Harry Kane is not going to be 34 next year for a start, right?
Isn't he?
And second of all, if Harry Kane came into your team, right? This is mad. I can't believe we're going to do this again. Harry Kane would bang in 25, 30 goals for anybody. Any team you put him in. This is mad.
Talk to me, right? Talk to me. I would.
I'll talk to you, Harry.
I would pay 70 million for Harry Kane right now because
in that
Forest team, you're talking 25 to 30 goals, no problem. Look at Chris Wood. He's got 18. And Chris Wood is not elite, right? Harry Kane is elite, always has been. And not only that, he contributes a hell of a lot more outside the box than Chris Wood will ever do. Okay, so 70 million for Kane would be a bargain. I'm telling you, he would elevate.
Romz, 70 million for Kane would be a bargain.
Wait, Romz,
did he say? Hang on, Wolfie, I need to get your ages correct though. You've added 3 years onto Harry Kane. He is 31. Right, let's stop.
All right, so what would he be next year? He would be 32 when the clause happens, which is next January, is it not?
No, it's not 34. Romz, did he say pay or did he say swap for Chris Wood?
It doesn't matter. Either way. The point is,
Wolfie thinks he's smart. He's not getting away with this one. Did he say swap or pay?
I wouldn't do either.
No, he said swap, Sav. He said swap.
I wouldn't do either. I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't swap.
Let's not let Wolfie get away with this. He said swap. No fee involved. He said swap.
Cass, did you not hear what I said? I wouldn't do either. I wouldn't do either.
It doesn't matter how you want to put it. You tried to justify it. You're not getting away with it.
No. So I just went double down on it. I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't swap. What are you trying to brush your beard for? Like you've done something amazing.
You're swapping a 31-year-old top goal scorer in the Bundesliga, top England goal scorer, does mental things, and he's not even 34 as you said. Next year he's going to be 32.
You should know by now. you should know about it. There's no logic in this. You can't argue against it.
Well, I just don't want Harry Kane at Forest. Like that's
he's
that's
you.
like
He would bring in Alanga and Chris.
all right. Would you take? All right. Would you take Ronaldo at Spurs, Savva? Would you take Ronaldo at Spurs?
Hang on. Can I bring some sense and sensibility? Well, Ronaldo's 40 or 39
Now
years
age
of age.
does matter. Okay.
But Harry Kane's 31 and in
He's
his
9
peak.
years
What
younger.
are we talking
That's nearly a
about?
decade.
Harry
That's
Kane
nearly-
looks
talking
washed
about-
in the Euros last year like he was a 35-year-old. Now he's gone to a nice, comfortable Farmers League. Suddenly he scores goals, and everyone's like, "Oh, Harry Kane's ready."
Wolfie, right? Wolfie, we all know that you say a lot of things for dramatic effect. I get it, right? I get it.
I have
right?
never, ever been not consistent on my thoughts on Harry Kane.
So,
Did you know
I
that?
have
You
to
know
tell
that.
you.
Wolfie,
I have to tell you.
hang on. Let me have the chat.
He means it. He means it.
I don't care if he means it. It's too dramatic and it's silly, right? It's silly. Harry Kane has 76 goals so far in his last 2 seasons. We've still got 10 league games to go, and Bayern Munich are still in the Champions League. This guy is going to get 85 plus goals over 2 seasons, and you're telling me you wouldn't want him up front for Nottingham Forest, who are going to be in the Champions League next year?
Nope.
Some things are just opinions, and other things are
Just like you think Gareth Bale would make an all-time Premier League 11 ahead of Mo Salah, man. Everyone has their opinions.
And Mahrez.
Yeah, but hang on. We're not talking about Mo Salah and
no, we're talking about
Gareth Bale
opinions.
right now.
Is what we're talking about. My opinion is I don't want Harry Kane.
Wolfie,
I want Harry Kane.
With no offense, you're Nottingham Forest, right? And you're telling me one of the greatest free strikers in world football you wouldn't want.
No,
That is just baffling.
Nope, wouldn't want him.
Trust me, Savva, I have this argument with him all the time. It is not
I don't want Harry Kane in my team. I've got no interest in Harry Kane.
By the way, can you can we put some effect on this, Savva? They're going into the Champions League more than likely next season. Why would you not want proven Champions League goals?
He's got
because I am more interested for the 100th time. I am more interested in building out Forest going forward rather than doing this whole Jesse Lingard thing again.
Wolfie, this is a hypothetical game where if someone said to you right now, you can have Harry Kane in your team. Harry Kane's got 3 or 4 seasons left at the top, right? He's a top pro. He does everything right. He keeps himself fit. He's never in the news. He doesn't drink. This guy scores goals. There are a few things guaranteed in football, and Harry Kane scoring goals wherever he is one of them. He's got 108.
You can try. You can put a pair of tits on him if you want. It's not going to convince me that I want him. I don't want Harry Kane in my team. I am more interested in. I've said this time and time again. Right now, what Forest need is someone who will come in to replace Chris Wood in 6 months, who needs to be 23, who can be longer with longevity going forward, with the potential, who can learn for the next 6 months under Chris Wood. I don't care if you resurrect Harry Kane into his prime. I still don't want him unless you're going to knock his age down to 23. I'm not interested.
Sorry, can I just ask? Is this guy a Nottingham Forest fan?
Oh, yeah. Erwin. And
you want to talk about perennial lose? I'm so sorry. What has gone on in football this year? When Nottingham Forest fans are belittling one of the greatest strikers.
What's he won?
Let me finish talking, right? Let me finish talking, right? One of the greatest strikers of the last decade or so. Nottingham Forest fans have the barefaced cheek to turn around and say they wouldn't want him, and he's a perennial loser.
You know what it is?
Who are you to tell someone what they want?
There's no point, Savva. There's no point. Yeah, look, this is the Nottingham Forest fan TV crew. Everyone should actually watch Mr. Door instead. Honestly, it's probably more sense over there than what these are infected in the fan base now. Honestly, I think
so you're falling into the same trap. Right, you're taking what Wolfie says as a representation of Forest.
Yeah, because he's you and I know it's you two, and the rest of.
What's Owen said there? That's not true. Sorry, what's Owen said there? That's not true.
He's infecting their fan base. I think they're better than they are.
I don't know. What's Owen said there? That's not true.
Don't bother. I'm not even
The
bothered.
statement that you brought up, like he said something that's so left field. What has he said that's not true?
I'm trying to answer you. I'm trying to answer you.
Go on.
Right? What? It's the I agree with Wolfie part. What? Sorry, Nottingham Forest it would be in a position to turn down world-class players like Harry Kane is just absolutely shameless.
You know what? Wolfie, you know what, Sam?
Silly as it gets.
You know what, Sam? The only thing I'll say about what Wolfie said about having a striker that's 23 or below and can learn on his trade and whatnot, you've been consistent with wanting Harry Kane. Cool. But Harry Kane would come into your team will still have 2-3 elite seasons. With all due respect, if you were to get that under 23 striker that can learn under Chris Wood for 6 months, he's probably going to go in 2 years anyway. Harry Kane will do more in that amount of time than that project striker would do anyway, because a bigger club will just swoop him. So I don't understand you not wanting Harry Kane.
I get what you're saying, Romz, but there's all kind of variables. One, like whether you want to say swap or not, it can't be a swap. It has to be the clause of 67 mil. Secondly, Harry Kane could get injured in those 2 years, and we spent 67 mil. We've already got players like Yuri Roberto that are linked to us, who is really hot right now, who's coming through, and he's 22, 23 years old. That's the kind of player I want to see. Just because I don't want, as Owen says, someone who's on nothing. I think I know we're on the Spurs channel, but the goggles.
By the time we signed him, he would have won.
It's nothing to do with Spurs channel. There's many Spurs players I can't stand. Harry Kane isn't even a Spurs player. Harry Kane is just a world-class striker, and there's only about 3 or 4 of them in the world. And Forest, who have had one good year in about 30, sitting here going, wouldn't want him. It's unbelievably arrogant.
It's like when someone says to you, who's better, Messi or Ronaldo, and someone says Ronaldo, and it's like, oh, what? You don't rate Messi then? I said I don't rate him. I said I don't want him.
I get that.
There's
with
a big difference.
Oh, I think Hazard. What do you mean Salah shit?
Exactly. It's like you think Bale is an all-time better Premier League player than Salah for his achievements in the Premier League. I don't. It's your opinion.
No, Wolfie, don't misquote me. I said I would rather have Gareth Bale over Mo Salah every day of the week. That's what I said.
What did I misquote you on then?
I agree.
But you were talking about Premier League, but I just have him all day and any day.
So what you're saying is opinion, but because I don't want Harry Kane, my opinion's not valid because you want to pull out some stats on him.
You do this a lot, Wolfie. You do this a lot. A debate about Mo Salah and Bale is about 2 world-class footballers. That's different. The debate about Nottingham Forest.
No, it's not. It's still an opinion. It's still an opinion.
Yeah,
no, because I need to break my fast, man.
Yeah, it's an opinion, but it's absolutely
maybe that's affecting your thought
disrespect
process.
Is
never has on Harry Kane. Never has. It's like, all right, if you spoke to Spurs fans and Forest fans about Brennan Johnson, you're gonna have a very different conversation on each opinion, aren't you, on it?
Sure,
in
Brennan
the majority. And by the way, me and Ant would agree with Spurs fans, but you would see a lot of the Forest fans saying Spurs fans are deluded about what they say.
Wolfie, I don't understand. This is disingenuous.
It's not.
Surely, Wolfie, we're not arguing how good a player or isn't Brennan Johnson.
No, we're arguing about whether I'm allowed my opinion on Harry Kane or not. That's what we're arguing about.
Wolfie, let me finish a bloody sentence, mate. You've cut me off every time.
You got to do it quick because I've got to break my fast.
Yes, that's true.
Every time I started a sentence, right? Surely no one on here is doubting that Harry Kane is one of the greatest strikers in world football. That's not the debate. The debate is how Nottingham Forest, who have been irrelevant in football for how many years, suddenly go, we wouldn't want a Harry Kane if he was offered.
Again, that's disingenuous. No, I got to stop you there because you just said Nottingham Forest said they wouldn't. They did not say that. I said I wouldn't.
I know, but as a Nottingham Forest representative, oh, Wolfie, come on, stop doing it. You're being
you can't say that because you're then going to say, if people say, oh, Savva represents Spurs' views on Ange, you can't say that.
Okay,
you got to be clear with what you're saying. I said I don't want Harry Kane, not Nottingham Forest.
A Nottingham Forest fan had the arrogance to say they wouldn't take Harry Kane when your club has had one good year in how many decades is just absolute the height of arrogance. surely it is the height of arrogance.
I would say the higher part of that arrogance is saying that a team have been third since December the 8th would finish outside the top 7 and still holding on to that thought.
Not really. We told Josh. We told Josh
more arrogant thought for me. We told Josh to break my fast. Even Cass is eating, so I got to break my fast.
Do you know what I love about what you do, Wolfie? I love what you do is whenever you're struggling in a debate, you go back to. But do you remember when we had this conversation? I know it's difficult
because it is relevant. Because it is relevant. Because you want to hold one standard against what you say to one standard against what someone else says.
But Romz, would you take Kane?
They're different debates. Like you bringing Brennan Johnson into it is nothing to do with Harry Kane.
Exactly. I'm talking about it's football opinion. If I don't want Harry Kane, the fact that you're shocked by it is fine.
But it is a shock.
But for you to try and convince me that I want Harry Kane is not your right to do. It's not your right to do. I don't want Harry Kane. I never will want Harry Kane. End of discussion. It's my thoughts on it.
I actually apologize for this because I brought it up because we spent too much time on it. So
I know. I should have broken my fast 5 minutes ago, right?
Go and break your fast then. Go and break your fast. I'm sure you'll find someone to argue with along the way.
All right, boys. I will see you in a bit.
Big up.
See you later, mate.
Take care.
I don't know what to say.
So we're not going to talk. We're going to talk how brilliant Man United were.
So Sav, would you have Harry Kane back at Spurs? I'm joking.
Mate, I'll tell you what. Now that the drama's gone, can anyone name me a team in world football that wouldn't want Harry Kane right now?
Apart from City, I don't think Man City.
Other than City, no one.
They'll still take him. They still.
I think anyone
him.
would still take him as a like for their
squad. Real Madrid.
Real
Madrid.
How about this? I'm saying that's as mad as it sounds. Like you know what I mean.
You could play Kane with Haaland.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Actually,
hang on. Sorry, I've got to have a word with this. Whoever this is. Right, I don't have a Harry Kane obsession, Johan. I'm very happy to, as anybody who knows and spoken to me over the years, I've always said Harry Kane needs to get over the line. That doesn't change the fact that Harry Kane is a world-class striker. When you're saying doesn't stay up front and never won anything as a player,
it's got nothing to do with his ability.
What are we doing? His ability? Yeah, he's not an Forest fan.
It's actually a real
so many people want them to not get top 4.
It's the Wolfie effect. I'm telling you.
It's actually a real shame that Harry
I liked
Kane's
Forest
legacy.
before I met Wolfie. If I just
I apologize. I apologize.
That's on you.
Owen, is that how I'm saying your name? Owen?
Owen, yeah.
I'm sorry. The bit that lost all credibility with me with your football opinion at all is the no pace. Harry Kane's never had pace, and he's one of the greatest goal scorers of the last 15 years in the world. What's your point? He's England's greatest ever goal scorer.
He was quality up front as well.
There's more to strikers than pace.
Charlie, would you have him?
Mate, of course I would, bro. I'd have him. Yeah, I'd have him on an 8-year contract, mate. All good.
Yeah, that's normal for you, isn't it?
I think Kane could play till he's 40. I think he's that.
If he wants to,
that pure a life, and he's got that kind of body that I think he could.
You know what it is as well? I hate this FIFA mentality. Once a player, in career mode, once a player hits 30, I no longer want them. Players are getting better with age. I couldn't believe. I thought Kane was 34, 35. He's 31, about to turn 32.
Yeah,
he's younger than
modern day football.
5-6 years.
Modern day football. That's especially for a player, as Savva's quite rightly pointed out, has never relied on pace. It's different when a player relies on pace, and age does take a high toll.
And you know, even
that's like me saying, you'll know this, and you'll know this. That's like me turning around and going, "Oh, Teddy Sheringham wouldn't want him. Didn't have any pace."
I mentioned Sheringham, yeah.
Never stood up front. Do you know the reason why? This is where I'm sorry. I'm going to pop this Owen here. The lack of intelligence of that opinion is criminal. Criminal. Harry Kane doesn't stand up front because he's so bloody good with his passing that he drops deep and links up play. How on? Look at this. Sorry, is this Wolfie's burner account? He's the most overrated striker around.
It's definitely someone trolling. This is trolling.
I'll tell you something else. As a general football point, I would always take a player with a high football IQ over a player that's just got raw pace. I've seen a lot of pace merchants.
I've got one of them right
now.
now.
I've got it up here. With Sheringham and Kane, they've got it up here.
I've got one of them at my club right now, and he's a piece of shit. He's the worst striker in the league. I don't give a fuck if he scored a goal against Leicester.
What, Hoyland?
Yes, he's crap. Just got bare pace, athleticism.
No, Caz, you I watched Wolfie. I watched Wolfie earlier on. He was saying, I told everybody what a brilliant player he's going to be.
Who said that? The goal, oh, mate, but he's quick to get his little minions to put down credibility on Xerxes. But what's it called? It's even trying to finish though, Kaz. But you know, when you have about 5 seconds to strike the ball, I think anyone can pinpoint where they want to put the ball.
True. And Walt Foes let him walk through. Walt Foes just stood off him, just let him shoot.
By the way, to answer that comment, Kane's about to win something, by the way. He could win both. You never know.
But what's him winning got to do with his ability?
Yeah,
like trophy doesn't dictate your ability. Like it's like I'm all for different opinions, but that opinion is
your legacy, though.
Yeah, but you
take your legacy. When people look at great players from the past, they do look at what they've won, and that's a shame. It's a shame because Harry Kane deserves to have top class legacy.
But we do know he's not finished his career yet. We do all realise he's going to win the Bundesliga this year. He's still in the Champions League.
Come back to Spurs and win the... Yeah.
He could go back to the Premier League and win the all-time greatest goal scorer. And we've got fans saying, what's he won? Sure, if we want to... If your level of debate is what's he won, I mean, it's not very... I mean...
Unfortunately, with legacy, he will go in the next 10 years. It will be in a conversation. Oh, do you remember Hernan Crespo? Oh, do you remember Diego Forlan? And all them kind of. Do you remember?
I tell you the one as well, Cass.
They won stuff, to be fair.
Everybody worshipped Matt Letizia, but now people don't talk about it because he won nothing.
Yeah. No, he's too good. Like right now, in the day and age of strikers, there's no way someone could be like, no, I wouldn't take Harry Kane. Are you mental? The thing is with Wolfie, you got to take keywords, and that's what I did exactly. And I called him out on Saturday as well when he tried to tell me, ask any Aston Villa fan who's the best defender. They were told it's Tyrone Minge. Yeah, and I asked the Villa fan, and they said no, he's one of our worst. I'm like, exactly my point. I called him out, and he tried to. He couldn't even give me 5 or 3 games that he was absolutely amazing in. Yeah, by the way, he tried to tell me Club Brugge. I'm like, piss off, mate. Anyways. But
this guy killed it.
Luke the Villa fan.
If we're going to do this game, Scott Carson sitting there picking up his...
Remember, Wolfie said he wouldn't swap, and then he said he hasn't won nothing. But then he fails to realise in his own team what Ant would say. But Chris Wood, I don't think he's won anything either. But neither has any of them players in that squad.
No one other than Hudson-Odoi has won anything at Forest, I don't think.
What did he win? FA Cup? Was it FA Cup?
Champions League, Hudson-Odoi.
Oh, you got the medal, innit? But yeah,
and Alanga won stuff at United.
But come on, man, that's like what's it called? Ryan Brewster flexing his Champions League medal.
On his haircut.
Ryan Brewster, man, from Chadwick.
Oh yeah, I know who he is, but I don't give a shit. I'll talk about him. He tried to get rude to me once, prick.
I'll tell you what.
Chadwick, yeah.
Do you reckon if I know all hypothetical. Do you reckon, right, if Harry Kane's agent wandered over to Nuno and said, Harry wants to join Nottingham Forest, do we think Nuno and his team are going to go, nah, don't fancy it?
I think that would be very dangerous because Nuno would have a heart attack.
What's Elanga's goals this season? A GA in the Prem or whatever? It's quite high, right?
I'm not sure.
Elanga?
Yeah, it's quite high. I'm pretty sure he's hit in the 20s of GA this year, no?
No. I've checked, but no.
No?
He's a very. You probably know this cat. He's a very. He's a very streaky player.
No, it's not bad, you know. He's got 8 goals. He's got 8 assists, 5 goals. Yeah, 8 goals.
Harry Kane in there. If you've got Harry Kane in there, his goals and his assists go up by double.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Imagine that ball that just gets pinged that Chris would kind of do, to be fair. You know what? They're quite similar.
Hudson-Odoi on one side, Elanga on the other. Ooh.
Yeah, he brings the wingers in.
With Harry Kane.
With Gibbs White behind Kane. That'd be all right.
Yeah, exactly. One's in behind as well. It kind of reminds you back in the day a little bit of Son Ali in a way. And then obviously they had a bit of a Christian Eriksen, but a bit different to what you would have on the left-hand side of what Forest. But I'm just saying it's kind of similar. But then again,
that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Oh, by the way, I can tell you, he's a Nottingham Forest fan. He's a lovely guy.
I love this.
I like
closet fanboy. Can I just say something, right? Why is it, right, that you get children like this who, if I praise one of the greatest strikers in world football, why is it now that these kids think everyone's a fanboy? What happened to just turning around and appreciating he's a world-class striker? It's so weird.
No, I don't fit the agenda, does it?
After Milenkovic scored against Ipswich, I put a tweet out with a picture of me where I've got my arm around Milenkovic, saying I love this man and love Hearts. So you're okay, mate.
I just find it crazy. Like, by the way, I was someone that said
fanboyism.
I was someone that said for years Harry Kane needs to leave Tottenham to go and do better. I think he was too loyal. He never put the transfer request in. He should have done it. But that's like me turning around and going, Lionel Messi's world class. Oh, you're a fanboy. Why? Because someone's a top football. I don't
What's
understand.
wrong with being a fanboy anyway?
Well, exactly.
I'm not a fanboy of anyone.
I used to be a Nunes fanboy. Casual vouch. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
And I used to be a Nunes fanboy.
I think Kane played on the Nuno as well already.
Yeah.
Spurs.
Sorry, Ant. Some of your Forest fans are. There's
a few good ones.
I like Forest. If someone had said to me at the beginning of the season, if someone had said at the beginning of the season, Forest to finish top 4, I'd say I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
The problem is the arrogance of these people now, some of them, like that Owen and Wolfie, just makes me go, nah, I don't want it for you. You're not humble. Not all of you, Ant, but what happened to being a bit humble?
He said stay humble,
I don't know what to say because I speak to a lot more Forest fans than you guys do, obviously. And I can tell you,
trying to wind you up, Sam.
I could tell you for nothing. Forest fans,
he's an absolute dick.
I like Curtis, by the way, because we got Curtis Jones, man. Not the one at Liverpool, though. But yeah,
we can't believe where we are. We're it's like dreamland to us. So trust me, I speak to a lot, as I say, to a lot of Forest fans, and we are all in dreamland. There's no arrogance. There's no we deserve to be there. It is literally a case of look at it. We keep saying, look at us last year where we were. How can this be? Why? We're genuinely pleased and accepting of the fact that it is a really amazing. No, this is what gets Forest fans. This is what gets Forest fans. Pricks like this saying we're going to get relegated next season. Why?
No. He's saying because of the arrogance of some of your fans. Like, do you know what? It would be lovely if everyone came on like you did, Anne, as a Forest fan, and went, do you know what? An unbelievable season. We're so happy. I think everyone would be well happy for you. But when you've got some of your fan base, right? Just saying some of the crazy stuff they're saying. There's no like, as I said to you for months.
Every fan base has got that.
I'm not doubting it. I'm not doubting it. As well.
We need entertainment though. I like what Wolfie brings to the table, man.
Oh, Wolfie's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's done more to publicise Forest than Forest have. It's.
I just think, right. Next season, go and do it again. Show the world that this wasn't a one-off. And then I think everyone turns around and says, yeah.
All I've ever said to you is, let's see what happens next season. I can't predict what's going to happen. I hope that we continue to go the way we are going and progress. I believe we have a chance of doing that. We have a good, loyal fan base. And how many people have got a T-shirt extolling their owner? We've got the best owner in the league. You know what I mean? It's like, so we have reason to believe we can sustain this. I'm not saying top 3, 4 every year, but at least get up there and be challenging every year. We are a big club. We've got a good heritage. We have a chance. We have a chance, far more chance than the likes of some of the. I'm not going to pick anybody out, but some of the lower teams down that have been in the division for years. Let's say Crystal Palace. We have more chance, I believe, of maintaining European challenges year in, year out than the likes of Crystal Palace. That's my belief as a Forest fan. Yeah. But we'll see, won't we?
You know what, Sav? I think I just seen the fixtures. You've got Forest soon. They're going to be calling it the Savva Derby. That's what they're going to call it.
How about this? They got us next. They should worry that they're not even going to get a point. We're not losing there. Trust me, not this time. We're going to part.
You lost last year there, so I think you might be.
Before you jumped on, we just saw you lost 1 in 10. Even I didn't know it was that good. 1 in 10.
Oh wait, which one did you count, by the way? Fulham.
No, I didn't count for them. I
that
counted
one.
Spurs.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Spurs.
I'm just
They're a
saying,
bit
innit?
sneaky, aren't you?
The issue is draw, win Europa, draw,
Yeah.
win Europa, win, draw. Is what it is. But I want to park the bus against Forest because I just want them to have a taste of their own medicine a little bit. I saw,
Don't do that because we don't know what to do with the ball.
but that's not neither do we. We ain't got a notion what to
Is
do.
Wolfie just sending
You
loads of
sound like
people
a
my
cracker.
way? Right, let me just caveat before we end this show. JJ, people like you, I am the most honest Spurs fan you will ever meet. My own fan base hates me because I'm not positive enough. I do not think Spurs are Real Madrid. I just said I think Forest are going to beat Spurs. Spurs are a shit show, mate. Spurs are an utter mess. So I've not once mentioned anything about how good Spurs are. Unfortunately, you follow Wolfie around like you're in prison and he's got his pocket out and you've got no mind of your own.
Teabag,
Other than that,
W
JJ,
bag.
Thanks for the comment. Love it. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Oh God, hang on. Here's my mate Curtis. First off, I am a grown ass man.
Arse man.
Cool. You insult someone like a child. Yes, because you sounded like a child. I said exaggerate and I said nothing wrong with that. Grow up. Sure.
I agree with that one. Shout out. You need to grow up a little
Grown
bit,
men
mate.
don't use the term fanboy. Just saying. I'm just
And
saying.
you still ain't showing the world your new dog.
Who?
Oh.
I ain't seen it yet. I just wanted to see the
I'll show
dog.
the
innit?
world my new dog. Yeah,
I
he's,
just want to
coming
shout
on.
out Curtis. He
If you shout at him right now, would we hear little footsteps running?
No, I
Just
can't
get
hear him
better.
anywhere near. He's downstairs.
okay.
I just want to dispel this myth, though, right? If someone supports a team, has an opinion on another team, doesn't always mean it refers back to my own team. If Charlie asks me about what do I think about Chelsea, and I go, oh, they're having a bit of a shit time right now. If his response to me is, well, look at Spurs, I'd be like, well, hang on, we weren't talking about
I hate
Tottenham.
Classic deflection
Mike,
tactics.
It drives
all the
me.
time.
It drives
Or
me.
it's the idea that like your opinion's not valid because your team's below said team in the
I
table.
guess what,
Like,
you know,
yeah.
And if I'm like 5 places above Romz, I'll be like, you support Liverpool, don't chat to me. That's
Yeah.
it.
The thing is, there's banter, but it's that if you do a lot of streams with any Spurs fan, yeah, it's always like, oh, but you support Spurs. It's like, come on, they're allowed.
It's
You
easy.
can
It's
say it as
easy.
fan.
Like, Romz,
You can say it as
isn't it?
fan. You can say it as
It's easy.
yeah, it's easy. You can say it. But like, obviously, let them have the
When they tell me Spurs are shit, Roms, it's like, tell me something I don't know. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
coming on any stream going, we're brilliant.
I heard it was you at Craven Cottage, you know.
Yeah,
Like doing the
that's all
video.
that and not bad, yeah.
So I heard.
He gets rattled so easily, doesn't he?
Are you talking about this?
Yeah,
Is that you,
that's
Savva?
what, yeah.
Is that you down there?
Look at this.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wheel of
Yeah.
excuses. It's just
Say
absolutely mad.
Brexit.
Like, look, there's Spurs, by the way. This is the form table over
You know
16
you've lost
games.
over half your games this season.
Oh my god, what? How many? 16?
You lost 15 games
We've
out of
lost 15
29.
out of 29.
15.
Yeah.
So, if anyone wants to know, we are going to wrap up the show in a minute. Spurs have a 52% loss rate in the Premier League.
Do you
Yeah,
do you
can
think
I
you're
ask
beating
quickly?
Frankfurt? Do
Yeah,
you think you're
can
beating
I ask you
Frankfurt?
something quickly? Do you think this isn't even wild? I thought it was about 12 or 13. Do you think you can hit 20 Premier League losses? Do
Yes.
you think that's possible? That's
We've
crazy.
We've got Liverpool away, Villa away, Chelsea away, West Ham away,
Frankfurt.
Wolves away. We've got Forest at home. We've got Southampton at home. Surely even Spurs can get 3 points there. Right, just so you all know.
You could hit
So
20 else.
Spurs, if we do not get another 11 points this season from 9 games, it will be our worst points return from the Premier League era.
I'm gonna go pray for that in a minute.
Wow.
But don't worry, Ange is building something. Ange is building something.
Wait, can you name the teams again? So I just, you know, it's a personal thing because George thinks he can chat to me on Fridays, and I like
Right.
to know there's like
So-
an order of things. So
Basically, Tottenham Hotspur. Hang on, let's see.
We-
I'll show you. I'll tell you what, it'd be easier if I show you. Here you go. Let's have a look at this. So
20
Tottenham,
league losses is
That would be mad.
well, we've got Newcastle, City, and Forest all in
Right.
a row.
here you go, Kaz. Can you see that screen?
Of course, yeah.
Right. So the fourth one in, the fourth column in here, if you see this, right? This column
Okay,
here,
yeah.
this is defeats, right? So at the moment we're on 15. If you look, the last time we lost 15 was in the 08-09 season, where we had to bring in Harry Redknapp to save us, right? So we've already matched that, right? Then 19 defeats in 03-04. But if you actually look at this column here is points. This is our lowest ever points return in the Premier League, 44. 44. And we are currently on 34 points with 9 games to play and
10 more
lots of difficult teams.
All right, all I'm going to say is if I beat Forest, which is a big if, by the way, I'm just going to say you top haters, you know the rest. You know the rest of it, innit? I'm just saying, innit? Just saying, innit? No one's safe. No one's safe.
He's got 27 defeats from his last 57 league games. 27. Honestly, guys, everything. I'll have a chat with George. Don't let people like George come on and tell you he's doing a good job. This is the worst manager.
No, he's been slating him. He's been slating him.
He's had out now.
He's had out.
It took him a while. It took him a while to be Ange out, but yeah, he's
there. Getting there. Romz, slowly but surely, Spurs people are getting there. Slowly but surely. This is
I don't understand how it can be slowly but surely. This should have been done before the season
ages ago. Yeah.
I've never seen Tottenham this low. How can you be waiting?
But have you seen the latest news today that Areola and Silva are top of the list if they make a change? I know we're getting the positive manager news out there for you, mate. There we are.
I think they'd both be an improvement. I can safely say that.
Oh wait, let me see that.
Marco Silva would be good, you know.
No,
would sort of
do wonders. I look at Areola, and not because he's the flavour of the month, but you know what it is? It's what squad they've got. I look at Pedro Porno as a right wing back, a doggy left wing back. Van der Ven used to be a back 3 centre back, anyways, and Romero and Danzo. If you go look at Southampton before and all that, like they got good players. Jed Spence can do it. Back 4 used to work as a right wing back. Was it Middlesbrough? Was it Middlesbrough or Forest?
Forest.
I feel like they've got the players to do that. All you got to do is shore up, in my opinion, is pretty much is the central park of it all. And I think Archie Gray can do it. And I feel like somebody else can do it.
Val decent as well.
I think they've just got to sort out their front three a little bit, and that midfield. I feel like, oh wait, hold on, they've actually got
we need
quite a squad.
We need a style of play. We need some tactics. We need some tactics. Anyway, I can't talk about Spurs. It will drive me crazy, and we have got to win the show.
Wait, what's this? Spurs not scored 10 more points and finish. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Imagine this. If we don't hit 44, apparently it's last time we hit that was like 1973. So don't worry, we're in the same. Oh, we only got 6 more points to go. We were all right.
Last season, we were dreaming of 44
the guy called Wake Up. I know Wake Up is, by the way. He said you'll never beat Forest at whatever you. I mean, we smashed you there. Like what? We done the 3P over you the other season when we won the Carabao Cup. No.
Yeah, we've improved a bit since then, though. Cal.
Yeah. So have we slightly.
Our defense is a little bit better now.
I'm going to end the show.
Hopefully Milenkovic picks up an injury, and yeah.
Hey, he's my man.
Big up to all of you. Really appreciate you coming on. Some really good chat. It's always good fun when Wolfie's on. There's always some drama. Romz, thanks for coming on. Big up Charlie. Big up Ant. Big up Mike's. Big up to Kaz for coming on. Sorry we disturbed your sleep. Guys in the chat, thank you very much. Please like, please subscribe. And if you haven't, a shameless plug, if you haven't, please do subscribe to my second channel. We've just gone over 1,100 in 4 weeks. So I'm actually quite proud of that. So if you haven't, please get over there, help out. Once I get to 4,000 hours watch time, start monetizing. Shamelessly, that's what this is about, right? So please get over. There's the link. Please subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe to everyone on this show. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next week. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
You Reds.